Communique by NLC. Ajaero invited by the police on terrorism and related investigation. The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajaero, has been invited by the Nigeria Police Force for interview on charges connected to criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, reasonable felony, subversion, and cybercrime. The letter of invitation signed by ACP Adamu Muazu on behalf of Commissioner of Police Intelligence, dated August 19, 2024, says Ajaero's name was mentioned in ongoing investigations connected to criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, reasonable felony, subversion, and cybercrime. Accordingly, the letter directed to Ajaero to report at the IRT complex abattoir by Guzape Junction on Tuesday, August 20th at 10 a.m., threatening that a warrant of arrest will be issued against him if he failed to report. A personal message sent to Comrade Joe Ajaero by SP Moshood said, "We are at the Labour House to submit this letter of invitation, but the place was locked, sir." NLC continued to say in their communique, "We find this curious because staff were in the office beyond 6 p.m. We also note that Comrade Joe Ajaero was not addressed by his official title of President of the Nigeria Labour Congress. Clearly, the last has not been heard about the raid on the headquarters of the Nigeria Labour Congress. Preceding the raid, Congress had advised government to dialogue with organizers of the protest, even as Congress had clearly stated that it was not part of the protest. Congress criticized the police for high casualty rates during the protest. Congress, in its next communique after the raid, expressed outrage at the behavior of the police and demanded an apology from both the police and government. At its World Press Conference last Thursday, Congress had raised an alarm that should anything happen to the leadership of the Congress or any of its members, the police should be held accountable. The question on the lips of those in the know is, who wants Joe Ajaero out of circulation? This communique was signed by Benson Okpa, Head Media and Information for the Nigerian Labour Congress. Nze, what do you have to say about this development?
There is a trending song in social media today by our music legend Mike Ajaero, the Gogongongo thing. I see Gogongongo playing here. You know, he said, Onyenka abia ejo, Onyenka abia ejo. Ajaero, what he refused yesterday has come to him. It is painful that it is coming this way now. The entire Nigerians were looking up to Joe Ajaero to raise the cry of the masses against the misgovernance, the bad governance of this administration. But Ajaero never did. Ajaero will mobilize the laborers for strike. They will call him by the corner and say to him he will relax.
Why do you think they said to him? That's our allegation.
That is our feeling. That's what we feel. Whether he was settled or he was not settled.
That's what you feel. You can't state it as
if I don't tell you
facts.
No, if I don't tell you what I feel, should I tell you what you feel?
When he says settlement, he didn't say they give him anything.
When I say settled, I don't know how he was settled or how he's been. I said, and I have to tell you what I feel. I wouldn't say what you feel.
Then what you would do, hold on, so that you don't get yourself into trouble.
Trouble of the police or trouble of NLC.
Hold on. And we are also a regulated body as well.
Yeah.
So what you can say is you feel that he settled, not saying it as a statement of facts.
Now, Ajaero, when he prepared for protest, Nigerians will be, for a strike, Nigerians will be looking up to him. That even market women were opting at a point to join in the strike, refusing to sell. Taxi drivers were preparing to join in the strike. And Ajaero will go somewhere, as we feel, discuss with whoever, and suddenly they will call off the strike. And maybe he was doing that so that he will not fall into the hands of the authority. To the extent that even when people gathered themselves, in fact, when hunger gathered all the people together, and led the people to the street, Ajaero was bold enough to say that NLC is not part of it. But immediately after that, his office was raided. Now, he's been invited, that his name was mentioned in an investigation about terrorism, financing, and blah, 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 blah. Our people say that when you want to kill a dog, you give it a bad name. So that is what I see the Nigerian police trying to do for the leadership of this country. It is unfortunate that Ajaero was beaten blue-black in Imo State. The president of Nigerian Labour Congress was beaten blue-black. Today, nobody is hearing anything about who beat him, why he was beaten, and all that. It was swept under carpet. And Ajaero didn't learn his lesson. It is good. Since you know that if you talk, you go die. If you not talk, you go die. It is better you talk the talk and die. Let people celebrate you for what you say. Because if you talk that talk and you still die, your talk will live on. But if you out of fear, you didn't talk the talk, you still die. You die, everything about you perishes. Look at it. Now that he's been invited, and they have threatened that if he fails to respond to that invitation, they will issue a warrant of arrest, which means there is no how he can escape it. Do you think that Nigerians will stand up for Ajaero now? Since Ajaero refused to stand up for Nigerians. When he goes to negotiating table, Ajaero will be negotiating the welfare of civil servants alone. And forget about Nigerians. Ajaero came up with a certain amount of money that should be allocated for the civil servants for their minimum wage. And Ajaero was not looking at the fuel price that is putting Nigeria to their knees. He negotiated only the minimum wage for those who are working. Do you know the number of the civil servants we have in Nigeria and the number of those who are not working in the civil service? The number of those who are not working in civil service outnumbers those who are working in civil service. And Ajaero, whom Nigeria is believing to be leading us, standing for us, will go there and negotiate for his own group. So now that the people he was defending has come against him, let him face the dance. But it is unfortunate for Nigerian police, let me say this. It is very, very much unfortunate. They raided the Nigerian Labour Congress office for a flimsy reason. And they have not come to educate Nigerians, to explain to Nigerians why they did that. Which means Nigerian police is becoming, if I may say, above the law. In fact, they claim they are law themselves. But that notwithstanding. Now, the Joe Ajaero you are pursuing, what has he done to you? If you kill Joe Ajaero, do you think that you might get more Ajaeros whom you have not met? So I advise Nigerian police, tread with caution. You have invited him. Remember, he is the president of Nigerian Labour Congress. Treat his case with human face. That is my decision. If by any means he's involved in what he's accused, well, let him get himself out of it. Let him answer for himself. But if he's not involved, let it not that you are trying to give a dog a bad name in order to kill it. That is my advice.
All right, Jackson, what do you have to say about this?
Well, being a security expert, I would tell police to do their work, but they should be diligent. If there is a petition written against anybody, police, the DSS, and others will have the right to investigate. And instead of them to just sweep into Joe Ajaero's residence or wherever to arrest him, they have given him honor by inviting him. Invitation by the police does not mean crucifixion or what we call it. It does not mean, it's just to question him. Sometimes ago, I was invited by the DSS. They interacted with me about 2 hours, and at the end of the day, they tell me to go. So I think anybody can be questioned. Anybody can be invited at any time for questioning. So at the end of the day, when they question you and they find you not guilty of whatever petition that must have arisen from anywhere, they tell you to go. So I don't want to really make any serious comment now. Let us see at the end of the invitation, let us see what will happen. Definitely, Joe Ajaero has his personal lawyers. Nigeria Labour Congress has their own personal lawyers. I know that Femi Falana is one of their lawyers. Femi Falana is not a joke when you talk of legal issues. So to me, and being the president of Nigeria Labour Congress, I don't think they want to treat him with carelessness or whatever. But one thing I'm afraid is this. They may want to treat him wrongly in order to send signal to the public that you don't talk negative of the government. And if that happens, that is to say they are already infringing on the fundamental human right of Nigerian citizens from freedom of speech. So let them not do it like that. And the caution that I want to give in the side of government, that is police, because police is part of the executive arm of government. The caution is this: they should be very careful, courteous the way they deal with Joe Ajaero. They might deal with him wrongly, and they might not know that they are pulling another trigger that will send this nation into every crisis. So whatever they are doing with him, let them be diligent, let them be transparent, let them be open. He is questioning another thing, they might even make it open to the public, so that if there's any way they want to prosecute him, people will see the moral justification in that.
All right.
That is my advice.
All right. Now, in the fallout of the raid at the NLC Secretariat, you recall that NLC came out after that to say that they are suspecting that their office, their secretariat, has been bombed. And they said that they were going to, call some technicians to do a security sweep of their secretariat. And at this morning, as we speak, NLC has called for an emergency NEC meeting over this development. Now, in light of the letter, you recall also during the protest, NLC wrote a letter where they condemned police brutality during the protest, and they clearly also said in that letter that they had advised the president, the executive arm of the government, to consider the cries of the people. In their letter, clearly, you would say that in their letter, they aligned with the cries of the people during the protest and condemned police brutality, and also removed themselves in a way from the protest by saying that they are not the organizers of this protest. Now, also considering the fact that over 1,000 people have been jailed over 1,000 protesters have been jailed without bail, without hearing, and they are now in prison. One would wonder at the actions of the current administration over dissenting voices, over protests. And you would agree with me that a lot of persons also were even calling out Shehu Sani actually told President Tinubu that he is the father of protests during his own time. Now, what is going on in this country? Is this an infringement on fundamental human rights of the citizens? They have a right to protest under the Constitution. The government was actually given adequate time, 1 month notice for the protest. So why these moves by the government in face of the hunger and the anger? Don't forget that after this protest, before the protest, fuel was at 700 naira. After the protest, fuel is about 1,000 naira, 950, 1,000 naira. Make it make sense to me when you marry the reality on ground. The government begging the Nigerian people, give us more time. The government buying jets of what was the name of the plane again? Of over $100 million. Now clamping down on protesters, imprisoning them, and then this move against the NLC. You said it's a time bomb waiting to happen. When you marry all these things together, what do you think will happen if Joe Ajaero is not properly handled? Have you thought about the possibility of NLC shutting down the economy of this country?
You see, that's why I said the government should be very careful. When pressure is gathering, it might be gathering silently. When the pressure gathers to an extent, the little thing that will trigger it is just a little punch. And that pressure that has been gathering will become an explosive and may consume so many things. So to me today, I doubt if people are happy today. I think it's only the ruling class that are happy. Every other ruling class is less than 0.10% of the population of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today. People are angry. I am angry because it has gotten to a level now that I have to go and measurize myself. My dogs eat well before. It has gotten to a level now that the dogs eat once a day. And I tell my children too, let us be doing fasting every morning till 12. They don't know that this is economic fasting, so that we can eat twice a day. I am angry, but there is nothing I can do. Before I leave my house today, I pray to God. That is the power I have. Because whatever you are saying on radio, on TV, on newspaper, here and there, even if they listen to it, they will say that look at it, it's an hungry man, that is why he's making noise. But then, let the government tread very, very softly.
All right.
If the issue of Joe Ajaero, if they are not very careful about it, the labor may come out to sort the economy of this country. And before that October 1st, the crisis may erupt and it may be uncontrollable. I want to urge Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. People like us love him so much because we know what he did. From the time of June 12th, we know what he did to face Abacha regime. We know what he did. Even when Jonathan was there as an opposition leader, we know what he did. He led people to save Nigerians when Nigerians do not even need any safety. Why is Mr. President now? That the Yoruba proverb, they say, Apani, Igba Kojanu, that is literally means those people that know how to use cutlass to attack people. When they see you with cutlass, they are running away. Mr. President should be very careful. I'm always supporting him, but he must be very careful. Some of his handlers, some of his aides are not in his support.
All right.
He should be careful.
All right. What is your concluding statement
On this?
On this or any other story we discussed today that stood out for you?
You know, the truth remains that those at the helm of our affairs are behaving as if they are not living in the same society with us. But the truth is that whether they behave like that or they think otherwise, we are all here. Power is transient. You are in office today, you may not be in office tomorrow. The police that is doing what they are doing should know that even themselves, the rank and file of Nigerian police are suffering as well. The hunger is telling on them. Everyone is feeling it. It's true that they are collecting small 100, 200 naira on the road, but yet it is not enough. if Nigeria is good, it is good for us all.
All right.
Now, if they go ahead to handle Joe Ajaero the way and handle NLC and the end bad governance protesters the way they are doing, in as much as I don't agree with anybody who goes out there to commit crime, not at all. People came out to protest. They didn't come out to commit crime. So anybody who committed crime should be handled for that.
Right.
But those who were just arrested unnecessarily should be released.
Okay.
But let them know that the way they handle this matter now may give rise to next another thing that may likely come. So let them tread with caution.
All right.
Let the leaders tread with caution.
All right.